Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're tearing into one of the most highly anticipated and honestly highly debated pieces of tech out there right now, the Sony WH-1000XM6 wireless headphones. If you've been anywhere near an airport or an open plan office lately, you already know Sony basically owns the noise canceling game. But, new generation, new promises. We're going to strip away the marketing fluff and look strictly at the specs and the real-world data to see if these actually live up to the massive hype. Okay. Let's just address the elephant in the room. That massive price tag, $458. I mean, wow. That is not an impulse buy, right? That's an investment. When you're dropping that kind of cash, the expectations are just astronomically high. You aren't just paying for the Sony logo. You're paying for flawless audio, absolute silence on demand, and comfort that lasts all day. So we really need to figure out, where exactly is all that money going? Section 1. The tech under the hood. Decoding Sony's premium upgrades. So, to justify that hefty cost, Sony fundamentally shifted their internal architecture, and 12 is the magic number here. We're talking about a massive array of 12 microphones working in real time to literally erase the outside world. They've seriously bumped this up to create an adaptive system that constantly monitors your environment. Whether it's a jet engine, crazy street traffic, or just that annoying hum of the AC, it counteracts it perfectly with opposite sound waves. And the leap from the previous generation? It goes way beyond just slapping on 4 extra mics. They've integrated the new HD-NC processor QN3, which is a staggering 7 times faster than the chip in the XM5s. 7 times. Plus, the absolute fan-favorite feature is back, the foldable design with a magnetic carrying case, making them infinitely easier to pack. Oh, and they finally solved a massive pain point. You can actually charge these via USB while continuing to listen to your music. No more sitting in silence on a long flight just because you forgot to plug them in. But hey, what about the sound itself? Let's bust some jargon real quick. You're going to see LDIC thrown around a lot in these specs. Essentially, LDIC means you're getting uncompromised, CD-quality, high-resolution sound without messing with any wires. It actually transmits 3 times more data than your standard Bluetooth connection. So instead of getting compressed, muddy tracks, all those little nuances, the reverb, the crisp highs, that really balanced bass, they're all preserved exactly the way the mastering engineers intended. And they definitely haven't forgotten about phone calls. The headphones use an AI beamforming system that dedicates 6 of those microphones purely to your voice. The takeaway here is that whether you're taking a call in a super noisy coffee shop or walking down a windy street, the intelligent noise reduction actively isolates your voice. The person on the other end literally only hears you, not the chaos going on around you. Section 2. Design and daily comfort. The return of the foldable frame. By pairing a wider synthetic leather headband and seamless swivel ear cups with an absolute powerhouse of a battery, Sony is boasting up to 30 hours of continuous wear. Let's just put that into perspective. That is enough power to fly from New York to Tokyo and back on a single charge. It's wild. And like we mentioned, if you do somehow manage to run out of juice, a quick 3-minute charge buys you up to 3 hours of playback. And yep, you don't even have to take them off your head to plug them in. Section 3. Real customer verdicts. Analyzing over 2,800 reviews. Now, let's pivot away from Sony's marketing promises and look at the reality from actual buyers. When we crunch the aggregate data, it actually validates the hype in 3 key areas. Sound quality is overwhelmingly positive, with hundreds of users just raving about the crisp highs and balanced bass. Battery life is a clear win too, but the active noise cancellation, that is the undisputed star of the show here, totally blowing away any negative feedback. To give you a real sense of just how good this ANC is, one verified reviewer summed it up perfectly. They called it body armor for your ears. People are absolutely obsessed with this feature. They're saying that 12 microphone array flawlessly silences everything from roaring airplane engines to, really loud roommates. And the best part? It does all this without that uncomfortable hissing cabin pressure sensation that older noise-canceling tech used to give you. But okay, here is where the narrative shifts pretty dramatically. When we zoom in on comfort, out of 244 reviews that specifically mention how these things actually feel on the head, the sentiment is incredibly polarizing. It's pretty much a split decision. And for a pair of headphones designed to be worn for 30 hours straight, yeah, this is a metric we really have to scrutinize. This really highlights the friction between the manufacturer's promise and the actual reality for the customer. Sony promises this pressure-free fit, right? But buyers are consistently reporting a surprisingly strong clamping force. A lot of users specifically pointed out that these are way tighter than their direct competitors, like the Bose Ultra or the AirPods Max. That makes them pretty uncomfortable for folks who wear glasses, or honestly, just those of us blessed with slightly larger than average heads. Diving a bit deeper into that data, the physical fit is basically a coin toss, exactly 54 positive and 54 negative mentions. But what's really concerning is that the durability actually leans negative. We're seeing 56 negative reports to just 31 positive ones. People are reporting issues like the plastic headbands literally cracking under pressure. And that sleek matte finish, especially on the lighter colors, it turns out it's a magnet for fingerprints and natural oils, meaning you're going to be wiping these down constantly. Now, keeping things perfectly objective, we also need to talk about some software quirks popping up in the reviews. Several buyers reported a weird, intermittent crackling sound in the speakers. Interestingly enough, the community actually figured out what feels like a little insider secret. This glitch seems tied to the DSE Extreme Audio Upscaling feature inside the Sony app. When it's flipped on at high volumes, it can cause distortion. Simply turning it off usually fixes the problem entirely, but still, it's a quirk you definitely want to be aware of at this price point. Section 4. Is it worth the price? Weighing the $458 investment. So, after weighing those cutting-edge specs against the seriously mixed comfort reports, we have to ask, do they justify the premium price tag? The customer data is really telling here. When you ask buyers to evaluate pure value for money, the high price makes them hypercritical of even the smallest flaws. The negative sentiment regarding value actually outpaces the positive, 81 to 61. It makes sense, right? When you're charging top dollar, the consumer's tolerance for a tight headband or a random software crackle basically drops to zero. Ultimately, the XM6 is a device of extremes. It shines as an absolute audio powerhouse. You get unrivaled 12-mic active noise cancellation, gorgeous LDAC high-res audio, and awesome quality-of-life updates like the foldable design and the ability to charge while you listen. But as an everyday, wear-it-everywhere accessory, it definitely stumbles with that polarizing tight fit and some highly scrutinized durability concerns. Bringing this explainer to a close, here's the ultimate question you have to ask yourself. Is acquiring the absolute best audio isolation and sound clarity in the world worth gambling on how these are actually going to feel on your head day in and day out? It's a choice between unparalleled silence and subjective comfort. Take a moment to weigh that for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me to decode the data today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.